Okay, let's just jump right in. What if I told you the secret to enlightenment isn't about trying harder, but about completely letting go of the path itself? Sounds kind of crazy, right? Well, today we're going to dive into this really profound and honestly paradoxical teaching from the Bodhisattva Manjushri that pretty much turns spiritual practice on its head. So let's get into it.
All right, so we're going to start with a few, let's call them confessions, from Manjushri himself. And these are statements that seem to fly in the face of everything you'd expect from a highly enlightened being. And just a heads up, this is supposed to be a little confusing at first. That's kind of the point.
So some heavenly being comes up to Manjushri and asks him, hey, you're this super advanced bodhisattva. Do you break the moral precepts? And Manjushri doesn't give some long, drawn-out philosophical answer. Nope. His response is just, yes.
And the questions keep coming. They ask him, is your mind scattered, like you're not in some deep meditative state? And again, you guessed it, Manjushri's answer is just a straight up, yep, I am scattered. Okay, this is definitely getting a little weird, right?
And then, for the final blow, they ask him if he's without wisdom. I mean, this is the one thing he's literally famous for. And his answer? Once again, a totally shocking yes.
So, what in the world is going on here? We've got this major figure, the literal embodiment of wisdom, claiming he's unwise, he's undisciplined, and his mind is all over the place. Is he just being sarcastic, or is he trying to show us something else, a secret to a much, much deeper kind of practice? Well, the key that unlocks this whole mystery is a single, really powerful concept. In the text, it's called Wu Suo Zhu. And what that means is having a mind that doesn't abide. It doesn't land or settle or rest on any one thing.
See, Manjushri says a true bodhisattva is someone who practices bodhi without abiding anywhere. This is the core idea we've got to get. It means you're fully engaged, you're on the path, you're living in the world, but you're not clinging to anything. Not to a specific idea, not to being virtuous, not even to that feeling of, hey, I'm making progress.
And what's really cool is how the text lays out this step-by-step process. It all starts with no attachment, right? Letting go of that tight grip on I and mine. And think about it. Once you loosen that grip, your mind naturally stops getting stuck on things. It stops abiding. And from that freedom, you get this incredible inner stillness, this mind that just doesn't get shaken. And that's when you can start to see beyond our usual ideas of space and time. That's where the real insight, seeing the light, happens.
Okay, so we've got this core idea of non-abiding. Now let's look at how this one principle completely flips everything we thought we knew about spiritual virtues completely on its head.
So when we talk about wisdom, we usually think it's about getting better at telling good from evil, right from wrong. But Manjushri says no, that's not it. Real wisdom is about going beyond the mind that creates those labels in the first place. It's about seeing things just as they are without slapping our judgments all over them. And this is where we hit this beautiful paradox with compassion. We think it's about feeling love for everyone. But for Manjushri, true compassion is this relentless drive to help others, while at the same time knowing that on the deepest level, everything is empty. There's no permanent separate you or me. It's action without attachment. And what about diligence or, hustle? We think of it as this constant struggle to get better, to fix our flaws. But that can be a huge ego trip, right? Manjushri reframes it. True diligence is just this deep, ongoing curiosity, looking into how things really are, until you realize there's nothing to gain and nothing to lose. The pressure is just gone.
So now, let's circle all the way back to those crazy confessions from the beginning. With this idea of non-abiding, they suddenly make perfect sense. They're not flaws at all. They're radical expressions of this practice. His greed, that's his unending desire to help every single being. Breaking precepts, that's his willingness to go into the messiest places to save people. And his no wisdom, that's just his total, absolute fearlessness in the face of life and death, a state so free it looks like he doesn't know any better.
Okay, so if this whole practice isn't about becoming some perfect version of ourselves, then what's the goal? The sutra talks about a great supernatural power. And trust me, it's probably not what you're thinking.
Yeah, the greatest superpower isn't bending spoons with your mind or anything like that. It's the ability to see that everything is transient, everything is uncreated, to see reality for what it is and to not be afraid. To be completely, totally at peace with it. Now that's a superpower.
This is what real mastery looks like. It's not about controlling the world around you.
It's about being so in tune with how things actually work that nothing, and I mean nothing, can shake your inner peace. That is true, unshakable power.
So the big takeaway here from Manjushri is that this whole spiritual journey, it's a process of letting go. It's not about collecting virtues or achievements, it's about dropping the heavy baggage of what we think success or failure on the path even looks like.
And so this ancient text throws a pretty big challenge at our modern goal-obsessed world. It's asking us to look at all our ambitions, our constant push for self-improvement, and just ask, what would happen if you practiced without needing a place to stand? What could you discover if, just for a moment, you let it all go?